For this week's Sports Stars Spotlight, we're headed to the Washington, D.C. area, where Joe McCann introduces us to one of the top point guards in the country.
The location may be different, but the expectations remain the same. Paul VI, now located in Chantilly, Virginia instead of Fairfax, wants to be the best team in the WCAC, and point guard Doug McDaniel is the guy running the show.
St. Paul VI Catholic High School had been located in Fairfax since 1983, but it relocated to Chantilly in 2020. While this is officially the second year for this new campus, it feels more like the first since most of last school year had remote learning and limited fans at sporting events.
We went from 15 acres to 68 acres. You know, our athletic facilities are amazing. I work in admissions as well, so the day-to-day life of the academic building is state-of-the-art across the board. And of course, here on the athletic side, it's beautiful.
What hasn't changed for PVI is the talent at point guard. Doug McDaniel is as good as it gets at that spot.
I love getting others involved. I'm not so worried about myself, but I'm worried about my other teammates, making sure they're getting involved, making sure everybody's in the right spots, just always being the lead on the floor, leading by example.
The way we play, in our style of basketball, we were one of the fastest teams in the country. So quick decision making, you got to be tough. You got to be understanding that every single possession, it's like full on attack mode, offensively, defensively. And so Doug embraced all those things naturally. So I think that's one of the things I noticed really quickly about him is just his basketball IQ was just on a whole nother level. A lot of people saw his speed, obviously his wizardry with the basketball, but I think his basketball IQ stood out to me, his court awareness.
In his senior season, Doug is looking to lead PVI to a Washington Catholic Athletic Conference title in this new gym and in front of larger crowds than were permitted a year ago.
It's been great. I mean, very good competition every night, never a dull moment. I just feel like I'm grateful for playing in it, one of the best conferences in the country.
It's a battle every single night, and they all know each other. You know, all the players know each other. They get along great. I mean, the DMV basketball is a very small, group, so everyone competes for sure. But there also is an understanding. Like we all come from the DMV, and we are the best league in the country. So I think there's a respect factor that's amazing.
So the spotlight's always been there. So I just feel like this year is more so me being a vocal leader. We have a very young team, so they haven't experienced the stuff that I experienced. So just me being more vocal and me teaching them through it, making sure that they always ready for the fight, making sure they always know what's ahead.
Doug actually lives on the complete opposite side of the Washington, D.C. area, close to where FedEx Field is. But the 1-hour commute to Paul VI has been worth it for him because he always saw it as a perfect place to develop as a player and a student. It helped that he got to know players like Brandon Slater, Jeremy Roach, and Trevor Keels, who are now starring in college basketball.
I just feel like it was a great group of guys. It was home. I knew some of the players on the team. And just looking at the history of PVI, they had very great players. Trevor Keels, Jeremy Roach, Aaron Thompson. And just being the next up, having my name being called like that, I just feel like that would have been a great feeling to have.
Well, it's funny, when he was in middle school, you couldn't tell me that he wasn't going to be a Gonzaga Purple Eagle because his middle school fed to Gonzaga. He took a visit here. In the middle of the visit, he texted me and said, "Mom, this is it." I was like, "What about Gonzaga?" "I don't care about anything else. I'm coming to PVI. This is the one." And I fell in love with it right with him, and it was the best decision he ever made. I love it.
Doug is an outstanding athlete as he played football growing up, and earlier in 2021, when PVI had a spring football season due to COVID, he suited up for the Panther football team and had an impact.
Had a little too much fun for me, but yeah, I think that's his better sport, but I really can't tell him to say that.
But he's known for a few years that basketball is his future.
Me and my mom had a long conversation about it. But I feel like it's the best decision for me in terms of my body, in terms of long term. I feel like I have a long term and more successful career in basketball. So football is always going to be there, like pick up, just playing for fun. But I feel like basketball, I could be way more successful and go further.
It's been nice. It's been a great journey just to watch him grow, watch him mature, watch him grow up, watch his game mature also. Turn into a nice little young man, from a little brat to a young man, like how they've molded him over the years.
Yeah, he can really take this a long ways because he understands that as he's a smaller point guard that he has to be great at all times. Like he can't take a day off. He's got to be able to do everything, and he's going to have a lot of people that are going to say, "No, you can't do it." And he's had that his whole life, and he keeps doing it. There's nothing this kid can't accomplish.
Next season, Doug will be heading to the Big Ten to play for the Michigan Wolverines. It's largely because of the trust he has in Coach DeJuan Howard.
I just felt like home. I mean, it gave me a very PVI type of feel in terms of bonding on and off the court. And I wasn't wrong when I made my PVI choice, so I know I'm not wrong with my Michigan choice.
That's what you want. You want your players to go somewhere where you know they're going to fit in, you know they're going to be able to connect and have relationships with the coaching staff and be able to reach their potential. And I think Doug made a wonderful decision.
With his athleticism and instincts as a point guard, Doug McDaniel could be the next PVI alum to star at the college level and beyond. In Chantilly, Virginia, I'm Joe McCann.
Thanks for checking out Sports Stars of Tomorrow on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and please subscribe to our channel so you see all of the latest content.